Okay, our next guest is Nadia Gerwell. And now Nadia has an incredible following of her own. She's a mom coach, which might sound a little, I don't know, counterintuitive or something like that. But yeah, if everyone could, just go on that way. She's a mom coach, and she basically is just learning what it means to be a single mom, raising a family and having a business and juggling a lot of responsibilities. Nadia has a Facebook posting and other things that she's involved with, and she talks quite candidly about her struggle with depression, her raising, I think, 4 children, including a set of triplets. She talks a little bit about how parents can get their strength and where they need to find their strength from, and also in somewhat of like divorce recovery and what it means to be both a mother, a parent, an independent business owner, and kind of keeping all those balls in the air. So Nadia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's quite some story with that fire, though, huh?
Yes, definitely quite captivating.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And when Tom does show up, have him come in because he'll give the perspective from inside that inferno. But what prompted you to do these blog postings and your interest in being a mom coach? What brought that about?
Because I saw the need. I saw the need in moms that were struggling to keep it together every day. So I knew that by me sharing my struggles, daily struggles with my kids, I could help other moms and dads who are having also a hard time.
Well, I'm telling you, because I saw some of your Facebook posting and everything. You keep it real.
Yes.
You keep it very real.
Yes.
There's like potty training and what it means to deal with that. There's issues of depression and antidepressant drugs and what has to do with that. There's issues of points in your life, like your relationship with your mother, when a engagement was broken off, and these things are triggers that lead to depression, and how many times women will just deal with this alone.
Yes.
Right? Like we talked about in the Christian faith,
yes.
You do life together, and you live in community, and you'll say that they'll hide that, they'll front, like everything's fine, but it's not. How is that deadly, or can it be?
It's awful because they become suicidal. They keep falling apart over and over and over and breaking into pieces, and it just gets to the point where it's hard to get back together again as one. So it just kind of like keeps escalating and escalating. And the bigger problem with it also is that they take it out on their families. Yeah. On the kids, on the husband.
It becomes like a downward spiral.
Right.
You can't stop.
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely not a good combination. It's not a good place to be in.
Okay, one of your testimonies, you talked about depression and dealing with that, and that you said you went to some counselors and you had these antidepressant medications, which I guess, are of some benefit. But you came to a point where you said, I'm not just going to keep taking these medications and higher dosage or try this other one.
Yeah.
But I want to, in a sense, kind of have a cleansing.
Right.
I'm going to get in better shape.
Yes.
My diet's going. How did you have that sort of epiphany?
Because I was tired of being tired. I was tired of not feeling well, of not being able to keep up with my kids, of not having energy, and also because I didn't feel good about how I looked. So I wanted to get back into the shape that I was before I had the kids. And once I discovered that there was other ways to do it with alternative medicine, which is holistic, what I do, I realized that if I made certain changes to my diet, if I exercised.
Gluten was the big thing.
Yes.
Gluten actually affects your brain, and if you're depressive,
makes it worse.
Makes it worse. Okay.
Yeah, and it's very inflammatory to the body.
Okay.
Also, so 3 years ago, I got off the gluten. I limited it on my kids also. So now we do mainly gluten-free, clean eating. Stay away from the processed foods. A lot of carbs. Very, like I said, very clean. Back to basics eating. Nothing packaged, processed. So those,
My wife says in the grocery store, you want to buy stuff on the outer aisles.
Right, not
like
the inner.
Fruit and vegetables, fresh meats. I'm into meat.
Organic,
yeah,
yeah.
Dairy, but not all the chips and crackers.
Yeah, you want to stay away from the middle section. And stay, towards, like you said, the outer ones, the dairy, the produce, the fresh meats, and all that. Like basically go back to like just cooking from scratch.
Now, so this helped, but then also it seemed like you got in touch a little bit with your formulative relationship with your mother, and I don't mean to talk bad about your mother or anything like that, but the sense was I could never be good enough, I could never be smart enough, and there was some real self-image things that were put upon you at a young age through your parents, and that the damage that can do.
That can last for years, forever. Yeah. Where I get that sense of that, I just don't feel sometimes like I'm good enough, I'm pretty enough, skinny enough. I don't bring enough value to the table, and it's because I could never please my mother. Right. She was always critical. Nothing was ever good. So that sticks with you for the rest of your life, and it makes a huge impact on how you look at yourself and how you make decisions and who you hang around with.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And it becomes self-perpetuating. And this is the most frightening part. Do you ever see that? Do you ever see your mother in the way that you relate to your kids then?
Sometimes.
Do you try to break the cycle though?
Yes, but sometimes I've already done it. So then I'm like, I got to step back and say, I can't do that again. I have to work on those issues. So yes, for me, for example, it's a money issue. My mother had this, thing about that we never had enough money, and that wasn't true. But, so she was very limited with it. So that stuck with me for a long time. So I would say, no, we can't afford that. We can have that. And sometimes I carry that with the kids also. And then I'm like, wait a minute, but that's not the truth. I shouldn't be imposing that mindset on them. So I have to kind of stop myself from it and, rethink it. Right.
And so you don't impose it, so it doesn't, the sin, if you will, isn't visited on the second and third generation kind of thing, like you somehow break the cycle.
Yeah, and very important is also that, you get therapy.
Yeah.
You seek out a good therapist who's going to help you work through all these issues. There's no shame in going to see someone and talking about everything that's tormenting you, haunting you. And it's really, really beneficial. You work through all those heavy issues, and once you work through them, then you're able to perform at a better level. And you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Do you think women, especially women maybe who have gone through a divorce, they're raising children as a single parent, do you think sometimes they suffer in silence?
Yes.
And they try to front and everything's okay, look at my Facebook page, here I am at the beach, here I am drinking wine, everything's fine, but inside they're dying?
All the time. I see it all the time. They want to put on this superwoman persona, super mom. I can do it all. It's fine. I don't need help. I'm okay. I don't need support. And that's not the case. When you have kids, it's hard. It's hard work. And that's what I talk about. I talk about the struggles that I face daily with them. And I'm not afraid to talk about it because that's just what it is. But a lot of women no, it's the most beautiful experience in this world. Of course it is. But we can't forget that it also has its lows.
Oh, yeah.
And they can be really low.
Yeah.
And if you don't talk about it with someone and they can't relate with you and they can't somehow, see you through those hard times, then you're going to keep sinking.
Wow. How can people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
NadiaGerwell.com is my blog.
NadiaGerwell.com
is my blog, yeah. Okay. And Nadia Gerwell, my Facebook.
Yeah, and go to Nadia Gerwell, her Facebook. I'm telling you, there's some interesting stuff in there. I was listening to some of the videos that you put up, and like I say, you're keeping it real.
It's very
Definitely keeping it real. And what's going on, and you can get to, is there, because you put a little something up on there, and there was 90 people that are like, yay, you're going to be on this TV show.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's impressive.
It's so cool. Anywhere that I can be on, any platform to, share my message is amazing.
Yeah.
because I just want to help moms and dads, like I said, who are struggling every day to keep it together.
You know, it's interesting. There's not to get too like Christian on you or anything like that, but there's this verse in 2 Corinthians that says, "The God of all comfort will comfort you in your afflictions, so that you're able to comfort those who are in any afflictions with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God." So the idea there is that if you're going through difficult times,
right,
and you've discovered the answer, from my perspective, it's God. You know, He allows these difficult times so that you're able to, you know, reach out to others and comfort them. I mean, if everything's fine and you're polypopular and everything's great, you don't got much to say to someone who's like dying and so forth. So
you can't relate to them.
No,
you don't know what it is to be in their shoes.
Yeah.
So what would you say to them, right?
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
I appreciate it, really,
me.
and please come back.
I will.
And you should consider writing a book.
I am.
You gotta just start pounding it out and start writing a book.
I will. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks.
Take
Thanks so
care.
much.